Good morning all. This is Dr. Haimawati, Professor, Department of Applied Mathematics, Krishna University, Dr. MRER PG Center, Nojvidu. Today we will see how to apply quasi-linear technique for fluid dynamics problems. Before going into the topic, we will see some of the basics of fluid dynamics. Then we will discuss about quasi-linear technique and we will see one example. As you know all, fluid dynamics is a branch of science which deals with the fluids that are in motion. Here, fluid means that is a material which can flow. So, we will consider both the liquids and the gases as fluids. So, fluid dynamics means basically we will study here about both the liquids and the gases which are in motion. This fluid dynamics subject is having lot of applications in the areas of aerodynamics, polymer industry, and often we will use this fluid dynamics branch for weather prediction also. So practically what is the problem we will get here is most of the problems are non-linear in nature. So it is very difficult to solve such problems. That's why we will pay much attention for the methods that are available to solve these problems. So types of fluids. Here basically we will divide fluids into two categories. One is ideal fluid and another one is a real fluid. When a fluid moves, it moves layer by layer. Suppose if there is a tangential force between two contacting layers, such type of fluid is called real fluid. If there is no such tangential force between the contacting layers, that type of fluid is called ideal fluid. All generally existing fluids are real fluids. Examples we can say water, air, blood, oils, whatnot. Again, based on the property of Newton's law of friction, we will classify the real fluids into two categories. One is the Newton's fluid and another one is the non-Newtonian fluids. So, Newtonian fluids are the fluids which obeys the Newton's law of friction. Here the Newton's law of friction is which states that the shear stress between the layers is proportional to the velocity gradient. So, example for Newtonian fluids are water, benzene, ethyl alcohol, carbon tetrachloride, etc. And examples for non-Newtonian fluids are plastics, blood, printer ink, and so on. Now we will see what is the quasi-lineation technique. First we will see here the method and then we will see one example. So this quasi-lineation method was given by Bellman and Kalaba, and this is a numerical method and also it is an iterative method. This quasi-lineation method we will use to solve boundary value problems, and here we will consider how to solve nth order nonlinear two-point boundary value problems. So two-point boundary value problems means if the required boundary conditions are given at two different points, then that type of problem is called two-point boundary value problem. First we will see the algorithm. Now here we will consider mth order nonlinear differential equation. So first of all, by using some suitable substitution, we have to convert this nth order nonlinear equation into system of m nonlinear first order differential equations. After that, we will try to solve this system of m nonlinear first order equations. Now, the first step here is the first step is we had to linearize these differential equations, these first order differential equations. And here in this method we are going to linearize these equations about the initial guess. In the second step, we will solve this system of linear equations, but it is again a boundary value problem. Now we will solve this boundary value problem by converting that into a system of initial value problems, and then after getting the solution of that system, we will compare the solution with the guess, and if the difference is okay, then we will stop the procedure, otherwise we will go for the next iteration. Now we will see the solution of nth order nonlinear two-point boundary value problems. Now this is the equation 1 here. This is representing the system of m first order nonlinear equations. So now we have to convert this to a system of linear differential equations. Here we will see the notation that we are going to follow here. So this x naught, this is called the nominal trajectories, which is the known solution. For example, for the first iteration, we say the initial guess is nothing but the nominal trajectories. And x1 is here the neighboring trajectories. That means here for the first iteration, what are the solution you will get after the first iteration? That solution is this x1. Now we have to apply Taylor series expansion for the differential equations to convert them into linear. Now this is how we are applying this is nothing but the Taylor series expansion. Then how the equation we can see here, this equation is converted to equation number 3. Clearly here this is nothing but a linear differential equation. So now all these coefficients are given by these equations. Similarly, by writing all other equations, that nonlinear system has been converted to this linear system. Now this is the linear system we have to solve, subject to the given boundary conditions. Now to demonstrate this method, we are considering here 5 equations. That means we are considering a system with 5 equations. So this equation 5 represents a linear system with 5 first order differential equations. And we are assuming here these 3 are the boundary conditions. That means x1, x2 and x4 are given at the initial point, and the other conditions are specified at final point. Now here, to solve this system, first of all we have to consider the initial conditions given. So here initial conditions are given at x1, x2 and x4. So first we consider the homogeneous part of this equation 5. That means without this. So we will consider only this part. So this is the homogeneous part together with these initial conditions. How we got these initial conditions here is, so in place of x3 we are taking 1, the rest of the values as zeros. So x3, why we have taken here in place of x3 as 1 here is, if you observe, x3 is not given at initial point. That's why in place of x3 we have taken 1, whereas the rest of the values as zeros. This is how we get this initial conditions. Now we have to solve this homogeneous system with these initial conditions. Now what are the solution we will get, that is called the homogeneous solution 1 here, which is denoted by xh1. Now Similarly, we will get the second homogeneous solution. So for that second homogeneous solution, the initial conditions are now given by this. So here if you notice, in place of xy you have taken 1 because xy is also not given at initial point. So now with these initial conditions, again if you solve this system 8 together with these initial conditions, that gives another solution which is the required homogeneous solution 2, and we are denoting it by xH2. Now, after getting homogeneous solutions, to get the particular solutions, now we have to consider the given non-homogeneous system together with the initial conditions. If you notice here, these are the initial conditions x1, x2 and x4. So now we are considering the same values here. So the system together with the initial conditions. If you solve this, it gives a solution which is called a particular solution. So we got now a particular solution, and hence we can write the general solution like this because these two are homogeneous and this is a particular solution. So this is a general solution of the given system. Now our job is to get the values of these two constants C1 and C2. Now to get these constant values, we will make use of the boundary conditions. Let us say x2 and x4 are given at the final value, which is eta phi here. So this is x2 and x4. Now just we will take these two conditions because they must satisfy the given system here, this system. So from this one, by eliminating the constants, see, this is the system these conditions are supposed to satisfy. So by solving this, we will be getting the values of C1 and C2. So now we got the values of C1 and C2. So simply by substituting these values here in equation 12, we will get our final required solution. So this is the procedure. Now we will see this way by considering one example. So this is the equation we are considering here. So if you observe, this is the fourth order nonlinear differential equation, and these, so four conditions are given and these are the boundary conditions. Two are specified at the initial point 0 and two conditions are specified at the final point 1. So now the fourth order nonlinear differential equation should be converted to a system of four nonlinear differential equations of first order. So this is how we are converting. So simply in place of f, we are taking x1 f dash as x2 like that. If you use simply this substitution, the equation here, this fourth order equation will be converted like this. System of four nonlinear first order differential equations. And of course these are the given conditions, boundary conditions. Now we have to solve this system. Now using the Taylor series expansions of these equations, if you write the Taylor series expansion of these four equations, if you represent that in a matrix form, this is the corresponding linear system where the coefficient matrix is given by this and the nonlinear terms are given and the force vector is given by this. Now our job is to solve this linear system together with these boundary conditions. So now to get the homogeneous solutions here, first we are considering the homogeneous part together with these conditions. So how you are writing these conditions here again? So here this is 1 and this is 1 because if you observe x3 and x4 are not given at initial conditions. So solving this is a solution, and we got the particular solution by taking this conditions. These are the initial conditions given. After getting particular solutions, we are making use of the boundary conditions which are given at 1 and 0. And this is the system. If we solve this, we are going to get C1 and C2. This is how we have to solve. So this is the way how to apply causal relation technique to any fluid dynamics problem. Thank you.